Alright, so this is my first ever video, my first ever trade recap that I'm going to be posting on YouTube. So I'm going to be running through my thought process with the trade that I took today. I did end up losing today, and I'll show you the exact thought process that I had before entering the trade. And I do think a lot of people took the exact same loss as me, because I was like going through my Instagram, and a lot of the traders, even Blake, who was my mentor, he took the exact same loss as well. But because it's a valid trade, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, so first, coming into the day, I can't lie, I was bullish until previous day highs. Right, it was quite obvious. I wanted at least ES or NQ to take it out. ES did end up taking previous day high out, so making me bearish from there, because we had a bearish SMT, right? So that was like my main draw on liquidity coming into the day. So this was my main draw on liquidity. Once this did get taken out, my targets was simply session lows, right? So if you wanted to be bearish, I was targeting all of these significant pools of liquidity resting below. But if you wanted to be bullish, we could have targeted, I think, previous week high. But then me personally, I just thought we were way too high in premium, so I didn't want to like target anything above. I was just not too confident with longs, so I was happy with shorts. So that was my thought process on like my draws on liquidity. So at 9:30, wait, let me play it out. Let's see what happens at 9:30. So price trades lower. I do think, I'm not too sure because I don't usually trade the 30-second as much, but there was like this 30-second shot here, like with this open high. But me personally, I'm just not like too confident with the 30-second, unless I'm like super confident with my draw, like where I'm like really close to my draw, then I go to the 30-second for my entries. But this was my condition, right? Coming back again, I told myself, we have this bullish 5-minute fair value gap. It's quite tiny, but this was my condition, right? And also keep in mind, we had 10 a.m. news today, and we also did have a bunch of unfilled 15-minute fair value gaps. So yeah, there you go. We got 2 of them, so I was expecting price to at least trade towards them. And then, so this was my condition, right? I wanted this 5-minute fair value gap, which is quite tiny. I wanted that to be disrespected if I wanted to be bearish. I don't know if people like took that trade like entry right after we just inverse it like right here, because it's a tiny gap over here as well. So the problem with taking entries at this is, one, your risk reward is just so bad, right? Your stop is like 83 points. Like there is no way where I'm taking a trade where my stop loss is 83 points, and you're only going to get like a 1 to 1.5 when you're targeting London lows, right? So in conditions like this is exactly what I do. What I personally do is I wait for the bullish PD array to get disrespected, so the 5-minute fair value gap to get disrespected over here, and I want us to open up a bearish 5-minute fair value gap, which we exactly do, right? So we disrespected this 5-minute fair value gap. Now we've opened up a bearish 5-minute. We've opened up a bearish 5-minute fair value gap, right? So my condition now is this bearish 5-minute fair value gap. Now, if you want to be bullish, price can just easily inverse this and then like keep trading higher, right? I'll get into that in a bit, because that's what ended up happening. Now, the only problem with this trade is the fact that we clearly wicked out the 2 50-minute fair value gaps and this tiny 30-minute fair value gap. But at the time I did see it, but I'll tell you why I didn't really care too much, right? This is where discretion comes into play. In terms of a draws on liquidity, London lows and Asia lows were clear draws on liquidity. And on ES, on we had equal lows with London lows and Asia lows, which is like the strongest drawn liquidity you can ever get, right? So I was super confident with shorts. So that's the main reason why I didn't really care about this 15-minute getting respected, because in terms of my discretion and drawn liquidity, I was bearish. So now all I wanted was price to tap back into the 5-minute fair value gap, which happens right here. And from here, I just want a confirmation for my entry, which is inversion fair value gaps, right? So keep waiting. What ends up happening is, I think that was a 3-minute. Yeah. I personally did not take the 3-minute. What I did was, that was a 30-second over here. This is where I took the 30-second because I was just super confident with London lows being taken out. So that was quite a big 30-second over here. I use AlphaTex, by the way, to look at the second chart. So it was somewhere around here. I can pull up my executions to kind of there we go. Is it not coming? All right, anyway, I'll show it to you guys after the trade recap, maybe because I'm in replay mode, you can't see it. But anyway, entry was somewhere exactly around here. All right, stop was over here. And my break even was this internal low. And my target was, obviously I was going to hold it all the way to London lows like a runner, but my first target, TP1, was going to be the intermediate low over here, right? So let me play it out for you guys. What ends up happening here is price just starts chopping. Also keep in mind, we had 10 a.m. news, right? So usually when there's 10 a.m. news, I don't usually trade, like, my rule is, if there's 10 a.m. news, I don't trade the 950 macro. Like, I wait for the news to come out and then trade. But if I get a setup before the 950 macro, I'm down to take it. And I got this set up exactly 947, 948. So I was like, I was simply following my rules. And this is where it was like a reconfirmation for me that we could have been bearish when this 1 minute got inverse as well. But we just stopped chopping up like a lot. And eventually just like stopping me out from the trade. And the 5 minute does get inversed over here, right? So that was my trade idea. I would rate this setup like an A setup personally, because this would have been an A plus setup for me if we had like volatility, but for some reason we were lacking volatility. And maybe if this 15-minute gaps did not, if they never existed, it would have been like A plus for me. But I'm still happy with the trade. I would still take this 10 out of 10 times. But let me explain like the conditions now, right? So remember I told you, if you respect this condition, I'm expecting price to go down. But if you disrespect it, I'm expecting price to trade higher. So which is what exactly happens. Both scenarios happen. We respected it and we got the 1 minute inversion out of it, clearly following my rules. But unfortunately, I got stopped out. When we disrespected it, you could have potentially, because if you had taken your entry over here, the risk to reward is a bit on the lower end. So I would personally wait for a retest of that and then like take my entry. But the only problem with this is I don't know what to target. So I just like genuinely I don't know what to target. We could target previous day high that has already been swept on ES, but then that's just like clearly going against my rules, because if ES is taken, NQ does not have to trade towards it. So that was the main reason why I did not think about it. But I'll show you another trade that I did take. Yes, it was this one. But I did close it as well because we lacked volatility like crazy, like insane. The trade idea was simple. This was the 9:30 open. 9:30 open high, super strong drawn liquidity, swept, 5-minute inversion, market executed, and I just wanted to target this, like the AM low, yeah. But I closed it because we were just chopping. Like if you look at the 1 minute time frame, it was such really bad PA. Because I was expecting either like 10 a.m. to deliver or 11 a.m. to deliver. None of them delivered, so I didn't want to be in the trade anymore. Now I was just like, okay, really bad conditions. Let me just avoid trading in general and come back tomorrow. So I closed it at break even, like literally break even. So yeah, those are my trades for today. I will be posting trade recaps pretty much every single day. Even if it's a break even, I'll still post it. If I don't take a trade, I'll just put it on my Instagram, whatever. But follow me on Instagram, subscribe, whatever. It's just pure educational stuff. I'll drop some psychology stuff as well. But yeah, it's my first ever video. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. If you do watch this and if you like it, leave a like. It really help the algorithm to push the video to everyone else out there who wants to trade as well. So appreciate the support, guys. Thank you so much.